up. Look at the lineup of your haircut.
That's right.
You're insane, man. You're insane. Straight up G.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host with his brand new haircut, Joe Habib. And we have a great show for you today. And if you want to call and ask questions, 323-870-3857. Tonight, we're going to talk about Devin Haney. Devin Haney's next fight is set, Beeb, and we're going to tell you all about it. We'll also play a game where you have a chance to win some Manscaped products. But first, we get started with the Showtime pay-per-view. Canelo Alvarez. I'm still, Beeb and I talked before the show, and he said something that just has me cracking up, and I'm still laughing about it. I can't say it, but I'm still laughing about it. So you're terrible, man. You're just terrible, man. See what you do? You get me off. Get me off kilter here right before we're about to go on, too. It couldn't have been a half hour ago or anything. Right before we're ready to go on. What's the matter with you?
Gotta get it together here. Come on.
From Boston.
There you go. All right, we're going to talk about the Showtime pay-per-view. Canelo Alvarez, the big one. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant for the Undisputed Super Middleweight Championship. Canelo Alvarez wins by TKO over Caleb Plant in the 11th round. This was a really, really competitive fight, man. I had the score 96-94 for Canelo at the time of the stoppage. I thought Plant did a great job early on. He was outboxing Canelo, quite honestly. Beeb, let me ask you real quick. I thought Canelo was starting to tire around the 5th round. He looked like he had his mouth open. He looked like he was breathing really heavy when he was throwing those shots. When he went back to the corner, it wasn't like he looked exhausted, but when he was throwing shots, he looked really like labored.
I thought he was a little frustrated and maybe a tad bit fatigued, but not as much as I thought Plant was starting to fatigue from the body shots. I could start to see Canelo's shots starting to take an effect on Plant. And even though I had the fight very close, I had it actually even at the time of the stoppage. I thought that he won rounds 9, and I gave Plant rounds 9 and 10. I mean, you could argue that Canelo won 10. There was a lot of close rounds in this fight, but
very close. I
got this sense that Canelo was going to just land something big, and he was going to end it. Regardless of how close this fight was, I got the sense that Canelo's shots were having a great effect on Caleb Plant every time they landed, whereas when Plant was landing, he was just scoring points. He wasn't really hurting Canelo at all.
Yeah.
So.
I tell you, I saw him really start going to the body later on in the fight, kind of like the middle rounds. He was really putting in shots to the body and then started to put that pressure on, just walking forward. And he wasn't, the announcer said that he wasn't cutting off the ring. And they were right. He was not able to cut off that ring against Plant. But I tell you what he was effective in, and I noticed this early on from like the first 3 rounds. And I'm watching the fight with my dad, and I told my dad, I said, you know what? He's getting caught. Caleb Plant is getting caught with that left hook up top. At least once every couple of rounds, you see him get hit flush with that left hook up top. Canelo just kept throwing it. Why on earth his corner didn't make an adjustment or try to make an adjustment, and maybe they did, he just didn't listen, or maybe he was tired, I don't know. But that left hook seemed to be his undoing also. Especially, did you notice, like, was it his right, what was it, the side of his body, the side of Plant's body was all red from where those body shots were coming in. And that left hook that he kept getting hit with all night long. And you notice when he was doing that shell defense, that little Philly shell, that shoulder roll, whatever you want to call it now, his hands were very low. Now, he always keeps his jab hand very low, and his body kind of turned a little bit to the side. But Canelo was still able to catch him with that sweep left hook. He was sweeping it up toward the top. He throws it in such a way that I don't think he knew if it was coming to the body or the head. Because he drops, what happens is he drops it down before he throws it. So you don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's going. and it caught him flush in the 11th round, caught him flush on the face.
Yeah.
And that really was his undoing right there. I mean, that was a picture perfect shot. Caleb went forward. Canelo hit him with a solid right hand that didn't help his cause at all, man. He just went down, got back up, and I've never seen Canelo rush to finish a guy like he rushed to finish Plant.
Yeah, he finished him beautifully.
I mean, he was, you could tell. I mean, he was on fire to finish that guy. He ran over there and just busted him with shots, and that was game over, man. You could tell, he just wanted the KO. I mean, he really did a good job. I thought Plant did a good job. You had it even going in. I had Canelo up by 2 rounds. It was a close fight. It really was. But coming down the stretch, man, there's something that Canelo does down that stretch, and it's all that pressure. And, my dad and I were talking about this, and I know you and I have talked about this too. It's hard to fight a pressure guy, a guy that just comes forward, no matter how well you're able to box or fend off shots or whatever the case may be, because you're always moving and you're always conscious of stuff coming at you, and they make you not want to throw things because it doesn't matter what you hit them with. They're coming forward, and it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of energy to fight a guy like that, and watching Plant, and it's just like he just wilted. But you got to give him credit. Nobody thought he would do what he would do. Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders. We talked about how we thought that Callum Smith was definitely better than Plant. We thought Billy Joe Saunders. I think it's, to me anyway, after last night, based on Caleb Plant's resume coming in, what we thought and what we thought might happen, I think it's fair to say that he's a pretty good fighter, and he's definitely better than anybody thought.
Yeah.
To almost, like I said, man, he took it just about took it the distance. And the scorecards, we would have gave Canelo the nod, it looked like, because they had him. One of them had it 96, 94, I think. But then the other two, I think, had a little bit wider than that, 97. I think one had 98. But he did well. He represented himself very well last night. He really did. After the fight, Canelo said he was going to rest. He didn't know what was next. This kind of stunned me here. Mike Coppinger wrote an article today for ESPN that says that Canelo has to finish the Triple G trilogy now. What? That's the worst fight I could possibly think of.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me? When was the last time Triple G fought? Like 72? I mean, seriously, like when was the last time? He's got a fight lined up in the new year anyway. Who cares? And he's fighting Murata. Like, come on, man. Really?
He's an idiot, this guy. You know what he did?
Nobody wants to see. Who wants to see that fight again? Do you want to see that fight again?
I don't care if I see it again. No.
Canelo's going to kill that guy now. No. Canelo, they met on the way like this. They met on that way. You know what I mean? And now it's like this in Canelo's favor. I mean,
I agree with you.
There's no way he beats Canelo.
I agree with you. Yeah, Coppinger's an idiot. He went out. He's tweeting out from a source that Virgil Ortiz was going to leave Robert Garcia and go with Eddie Reynoso, and then Virgil Ortiz screenshots a text message exchange when Coppinger actually asked Virgil Ortiz, "Are you leaving Robert Garcia?" And he goes, "No, I'm not leaving Robert Garcia. Where did you hear that from?" And Virgil Ortiz says, "Please do not believe any stories from anyone unless you hear it from me or my team first." Coppinger is a first-class clown. And I don't know how he's able to hold on to that job, but he's an idiot.
Oh, that's harsh.
No, it's not. Go look at the screenshotted tweet. And if he's not an idiot after reading what I just explained to you, then I don't know what could define what an idiot is.
That's hurtful. Right? That's hurtful, Beeb.
No, you got to be cruel to be kind sometimes. Tough love.
You got to be cruel to be kind.
Now, back to Plant. Full disclosure, I respect every single fighter that enters that ring. And, I give everyone credit. And I try not to down any fighter. But I have to admit, I was very dismissive of Plant going into this fight. And it was not meant to disrespect him or show him any malice in any way. I owe him an apology because I didn't think he belonged in that ring with Canelo. And he proved me wrong, 110% wrong. He belonged in that ring. I thought he held his own for as long as he could. I give Canelo a lot of credit for making his adjustments, right? He went to the body, right? He started timing Plant's jab and slipping it on the way in. And at around round 5, that's when Canelo started getting his jab untracked, right? And then he started placing those body shots that were taking the wind out of Caleb Plant's sails. But after this fight, like I said, I always respect every fighter that enters the ring. But after this fight, my respect for Caleb Plant went up 100-fold because he put on a beautiful performance. I was pleasantly surprised. Shout out to Sutter Kane. He picked Caleb Plant to win the fight. And although he was wrong, he saw some things in Caleb Plant that I did not anticipate and I did not see. So shout out to him. He was on the roundtable last week. Shout out to Calix Boxing as well. Shout out to Caleb to Calix Boxing as well because he had the over here, right? He had the over and he got it, I think, at a plus 105 or a plus 115, and that was a great call on his part. He picked the fight to to end in a stoppage by Canelo, and he picked the over. So out of anyone that broke this fight down, he was the most correct in my opinion, right? He was the most correct in my opinion. I thought that the fight would end in a stoppage, but I didn't think it would be competitive. I thought it would be a mid-round stoppage. Calix called this fight to a T. He said the first 5 to 6 rounds would be competitive. He said Canelo Alvarez will come on late, and he'll stop him in the late rounds, maybe round 10 or 11. He took the over. Congratulations to him. But this fight definitely exceeded my expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. And I'm looking forward to seeing both fighters again. And I think Canelo Alvarez definitely deserves a rest. You can't fight 4 times a year all the time because think about it. It's not just the fights. It's also the training camps, the 2-month training camps. So you got 4 fights, right? And then you got 4 training camps at 2 months apiece, right? So you got 8 months of training. That's a lot. Like these people that say, oh, well, fighters don't fight enough, whatever. I'm happy to see a guy fight twice a year if he's fighting good fights. 3 times a year is a bonus. But it's really hard to fight 4 times a year and fight top quality guys. So I think Canelo Alvarez does deserve a much needed rest. And hopefully he fights a good opponent coming out next time. I believe he will. His track record shows that he will. I'm hoping he fights a David Benavidez or maybe a Jamal Charlo. Looks like he may be doing some business with PBC in the future. We'll see.
What about Anthony Durrell?
That could happen too. I mean, I know.
Come on, that is not going to happen.
Ring IQ said that he thinks that fight will happen next. I hope.
I hope not. $1,000. That fight ain't going to happen next, son. There's no way he's fighting. Durrell's 38 years old. Champ Life said Anthony Durrell is next. He looked good. He did look good. Listen, he looked good. I get it. I don't know who he fought, but he looked good.
Yeah.
But come on, man, stop it. There's no money in a Durrell fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
The people are saying, now who did you say left Robert Garcia?
Goofball Coppinger tweeted out, sources say that Virgil Ortiz is leaving Robert Garcia and going to Eddie Reynoso. And then Virgil Ortiz screenshotted that tweet screenshotted a text message exchange between him and Mike Coppinger. But Mike Coppinger went and said, I heard you're leaving Robert Garcia. Is this true? And he said, no, it is not.
Because there's a few people in the chat that says Robert Garcia confirmed it. I don't know. I mean,
no, he did not confirm it. That's a total lie.
Is that more fabrication? All right.
That is not confirmed. I'll have to send you the screenshot of the tweet.
Yeah. I know he does put out sources a lot, and I know a lot of the stuff that he says does not come to fruition. It's wrong. It's flat out wrong. It's completely wrong. But yeah, as far as a third Triple G fight he's calling for, that's crazy. Canelo Benavidez to me is probably Canelo Benavidez or Canelo Charlo probably the biggest fights you can make right now for Canelo.
I'm hoping it's going to be one of those two.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be Charlo, because that's a good fight. That's a really solid fight. I like that. I like that a lot. I really do. I've always wanted to see Canelo and Charlo, always. So, and then Canelo Benavidez is another good one. From what I understand, from what they were saying last night, it doesn't sound like he's moving up to 175 right now. He said he might stick around. Like I said, the PBC, especially if they did a good job with him, and with money wise and everything like that, and the pay-per-views did well and everything. Now, I tell you what, I don't know how well the pay-per-view did going up against the UFC last night, but that UFC pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure they said that was like, the fourth highest gate at Madison Square Garden. I mean, that UFC pay-per-view is going to be monster. Why would you let me ask you a question. Why would you, as Showtime, go up against the UFC on a pay-per-view? That just seems dumb.
Who had their date first? That's what I want to know. I don't know. I mean,
I couldn't tell you. I don't
know who had the date first. If Showtime had the date first, then you have to ask Dana White that question.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He was watching the pay-per-view on his laptop at the fight. He bought it.
He was. That's right. Yeah, during the UFC last night, they showed a picture of Dana White watching the fight. You could see him clearly watching the Canelo fight
while his co-feature was going on.
Right. While the Rose Namajunas fight was going on with Wiley Zhang. So, but I think that the UFC clearly got more buys, is going to get a lot more buys.
I would think so, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. A lot of people were talking about this fight. There was a little bit of a buzz for it. Canelo was trending very high. I don't know how much of an indication that is on how well pay-per-views did, but he was trending. I think he was trending number one there for a little bit on Twitter last night. So we'll see.
Yeah, not in the chat says Showtime owns Bellator, a competing MMA promotion. Yeah, they own Bellator, but Bellator, and it is a competing promotion, but it's not. It is, but it's not. There's not. It's competing in the sense that they have people in there fighting. It's just like the PFL. They're really not a competition for UFC. They're really not. Everybody is wanting to get. Everybody who's fights wants to go to the UFC. So it's not like that. So there you go. All right, let's talk about the co-main here. Anthony Durrell versus Marcos Hernandez. Anthony Durrell, man, he's got the KO of the night in my book over Marcos Hernandez. The fourth round, this was a picture-perfect uppercut. We were watching the fight, and my dad said, that it looked like a bolo shot. It looked like a bolo type of uppercut. It come around, boom. He almost started it from the top and just looped it. And he caught that guy flush, put him down. The guy was like, you could see him on the camera. You could tell he was out. And you could see him like trying to clap his gloves together, and he was missing his gloves. He got up, wobbled around. That was it. It was a good stoppage, man. That was, that was good. And he looked good. Anthony Durrell looked good. He did. But let's keep in mind, he was fighting Marcos Hernandez. What were your thoughts on that fight, Beeb?
It was basically a showcase fight, but he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
He definitely did what he was supposed to do. It was an impressive knockout, right? Good for him. But
not
what did you expect? One way or the other.
Right.
It was a highlight reel type knockout. It was a great punch. It was beautiful, picture perfect uppercut. But
yeah.
What did you
chat said he was 15. Hernandez was 15-4. So we get it. And he's 100% right. That's the thing, man. It's tough for it's tough to they're going to set him up. You know what I mean? But after the fight, he called out Canelo, the winner of Canelo Plant. That's clearly not going to happen.
I hope not.
You might get the loser of Canelo Plant, but you're not going to get. You might get Caleb Plant. I don't even think you'd get Caleb Plant. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what's next for him? What's next for Durrell?
Jesus.
You think Robert retires him?
Yeah, Robert's probably going to retire him. I don't know. I don't know what's going to be next for Durrell. Maybe he'll be on Canelo's undercard, I guess. I don't know. For the next card.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be in with Caleb Plant for an eliminator.
I think, you know what I think? I think that would be a good comeback fight for Caleb Plant.
It's a Darrell fight, yeah.
He has a Darrell fight. I think that's a great comeback
That could
fight
be
for
next.
Caleb Plant.
That could be next.
I think that would be next. Or if they put a PBC thing together with Charlo, all right. If they put a Charlo Canelo fight together, I think that would be a great undercard. That would be a great co-main. But they don't, because they have to pay Canelo so much money. Those undercards are terrible. I mean, they're terrible. They're not good, man. Outlaw says Benavidez Darrell is next. Yeah, that could be a possibility too. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Ray Vargas versus Leonardo Baez. Ray Vargas wins a unanimous decision over Baez by the scores 100 to 90 twice and 99-91. This wasn't the most thrilling fight on the planet, but I will tell you this. What I did notice about Ray Vargas. Now, Ray Vargas dominated the fight. Okay. While he dominated the fight, he was putting in like shots. I mean, shots. You could see him putting a lot of power on those shots. It looked to me, they looked powerful. I mean, he looked like he was really throwing hard shots. And he did this and landed the entire fight, and that guy didn't go anywhere, which makes me question Vargas's power. I mean, clearly he's got what it takes. I mean, he's a good fighter. I don't know if he's got, power-wise, once somebody feels, if he gets in there with somebody who has, some kind of pedigree and is going to be able to take those shots and walk right through them, I don't know. What were your thoughts when you saw this, man?
After a long layoff, I thought it was a great performance from Vargas.
Mm-hmm.
He was out of the ring for almost 2 years, right?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah,
you look good.
The one thing I don't like is that lean back, and I know Nacho Berenstein was telling him to not do that, but he's so tall and long, he could probably get away with it. But if a guy jumps in his chest, he may not be able to get away with that. I do want to make a correction. Virgil Ortiz did split with Robert Garcia, but he has not confirmed who his new trainer is yet. So Mr. Easy Box is correct. I apologize. They did have an amicable split, and but there's no new trainer yet. But Coppinger was trying to say that he went with Eddie Reynoso, which was false. Yeah. So getting back to Vargas, yeah, I mean Vargas, him versus Navarrete would be a good fight, no? That would be a great fight.
I think so. Like I said, I worry about the power. I mean, I really do. I mean, he didn't move this guy. He didn't get, you know what I mean?
But he's never been a big puncher. He's always been a boxer type,
Was he putting, I mean, you tell me, because you're better at breaking down fights, okay, as to what he's doing and what he's not doing correctly, okay? Yeah. Were these more arm punches, or was he laying in shots? He looked to me like he was laying in shots. It looked like he was doing the proper twist of the body and everything like that. His legs were in proper position.
He's just not a powerful guy. He's 5'10", and what's he, 126 pounds? He's a small, like 122 like pounds, 122, 126 pounds. He's a small guy. He's like a javelin. With all due respect. I mean, not everyone can have these. I mean, what do you?
Oh yeah, don't show everybody. What are you doing?
I want to show everyone. 52 years old of raw friggin' aggression. But
it's true.
Yeah, he's just not a big framed guy. He doesn't have a lot of bone density, so he's not a big puncher. He's just not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think him and Navarrete would be good. He's got a good trainer. Definitely got a good trainer, man. So. The curtain jerker, the first bout of the evening, Elvis Rodriguez versus Juan Pablo Romero. Rodriguez wins here with a 5th round knockout over Juan Pablo Romero. Rodriguez, who I believe was trained by Freddie Roach, correct? It was Freddie Roach was training him, right?
Correct.
Okay, so he hit this guy, and the guy goes down. Let me see here. Romero goes down, right? Did you watch him? He went down and sat up and just waited for the referee to count 10. He didn't even make any effort. I don't know, like, if he just said, screw it, I'm done. What happened? I mean, but he just sat there. The referee was counting. It's like he just looked up to the referee, like, let's finish this up and let's say I'll go home.
Yeah.
It was insane. The only other time I remember seeing that was Alexis Arguello and prior to, when Arguello called the referee, when he went down, he just looked at him and he says, just count it out. That's it. He said, game over, man.
That's disheartening when you're like, the guy's on the canvas and he's like,
he just kept looking at that ref.
Look up at the referee like,
he's waiting for the glove, like, let's speed it up here,
you don't have to finish this. I'm not getting up.
See where I am,
I got a nice soft one right here.
I'll tell you what was, and maybe it's me because I'm getting older. I don't know. My eyesight's not what it used to be. Maybe my hearing's not what it used to be. Did you understand a word Freddie Roach was saying in that corner?
I mean, he had a mask on, Eric. I mean, cut the guy some slack. I mean, put a mask on. Like okay, let's watch this. I'm not going to I don't have my mask handy, but let's use my
just use some paper towels. Yes, there you go.
Now, can you understand everything I'm saying? Good, or I got my mouth and my nose covered. How do I sound?
You sound fine. You sound coherent.
Okay, so it wasn't the mask.
So it might have been Parkinson's. I don't know.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But cut the guy some slack. I mean, cut the guy some slack, man.
Well, listen,
he's got a disability.
Man.
He's got a disability.
Well,
you want to take shots at him? Jesus Christ, you're worse than Herrick.
I'm just worse than Herrick. So I'm just saying. Like, as a fighter, if you're in there and he's hard, he was hard for me to understand.
He's got a disability.
I get that, but is it transferring to his fighters? In the sense that, like, maybe they can't understand what he's saying.
I mean, you can't discriminate against people that have disabilities. There's laws against that. There's laws against that. All right, the guy deserves to earn a living.
Listen, I'm not trying to get me too'd here. I'm just saying I couldn't understand him.
Please.
Not on.
I mean,
and I know he has Parkinson's. I get it.
He has cerebral palsy. We let him call in. He's just like us. We can't discriminate against people who have disabilities.
He uses Siri to call in.
It's his own voice when he calls in, regardless of how he
like
gets
Stephen
there.
Hawking, man.
Regardless of the delivery system, he's calling in.
Man.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop discriminating, please.
Parkinson's in a mask, please, Eric. I'm just saying. Listen, if I can't understand him.
This guy's texting me yesterday.
You
understand a word Freddie Roach is saying?
I couldn't.
Jesus Christ.
Neither one of us could. We're watching TV.
What did you do? Kick a dog on your What'd you do? Kick a dog on your way home yesterday or something? What's wrong with you?
Oh, that's old hat. I always do that. It's not a big deal.
Jesus.
You're terrible, man.
My God.
Notorious VC wants to know if Robbie's going to retire Caleb Plant today. Oh, my God. All right. Let's go to the next card. ESPN, baby. Michaela Mayer versus Maeva Hamadouche. It's her name. Can't do nothing about it. Mayer wins a unanimous decision by the scores of 98-92, 99-91, and 100-90. And full disclosure here, I didn't watch this fight because I'll be honest with you, I couldn't be any less interested if I tried.
Oh, my God. More misogyny from this kid.
That's how I do it.
You are just isolating so many groups of people right now. First, it's people with disabilities. Now you're isolating women's boxers.
You sound like my wife. You really do. I mean, every time I talk about some reporter on the sideline.
If more than one person is telling you these things, it's not us. It's you.
I don't think
it's you. This was an excellent fight. It's a unification fight. Michaela Mayer.
I'm going to go over notes while you go over this fight because this is
Michaela Mayer impressed me with her inside fighting. I had the fight 98-92.
She impressed me too. I didn't watch the fight, but I watched her walk to the ring. That's about it.
What a disgrace. But anyways, I thought Michaela Mayer fought excellent on the inside. I thought she had good defense up close as well. This was a very entertaining fight. Hamadouche is a great inside fighter. She's very aggressive, and she usually has her way when she's able to, establish herself in the pocket. But I thought that Mayer was going to try and keep her outside and use the jab and use range and distance, but she fought her in the pocket and she was ripping body shots. She was just landing the cleaner work. She was slipping shots, slipping a shot and ripping the body shots and throwing those uppercuts up the middle. So it was a very entertaining fight. You would have enjoyed it if you watched it. But I know that there's been a lot of controversy about there's a lot of controversy about the scorecards. One judge had it 100-90, another judge had it like 91-89 or something like that. I had Hamadouche winning 2 rounds. I thought that Mayer really went on a tear after the first 2 rounds. I gave Hamadouche the first 2 rounds, and that was it. I just thought Mayer was landing the cleaner shots.
I heard the judge fell asleep during the fight. Is that accurate, or is that?
Please.
This is what I heard. This is what I heard.
Please, Eric. So I had it 98-92.
You had it 98-92?
Yeah, one
I
judge
had it somewhere around there before I fell asleep after the second round. So
one judge had it 99-91, and another judge had it 100-90. But there was a lot of criticism of the scorecards. I don't know. How do you
pronounce her name? Is it Hamadouche?
Hamadouche, that's correct.
Hey. Outlaw, please. He said, when it comes to women's boxing, Eric and Robbie are the worst of the worst. Oh, that's hurtful.
Yeah. It was a good fight, bro.
Hurtful. That's hurtful.
Let me ask you this. Why do you watch female MMA, but you don't like female boxing?
I don't know. Chandler M says, every Hispanic has a cousin that looks just like Eric.
What do you mean you're not going to get off the hook? What do you mean you don't know? Why?
You know why? Because it's not promoted the same way. I have no real reason to care about it. I don't. I have zero reason to care about it. Zero.
So you don't find it? You find female MMA entertaining, but you don't find female boxing entertaining?
I don't.
So if Katie Taylor fights Amanda Serrano, you're not going to be interested in that fight?
I'll be interested in that fight. Yeah, I'll be interested in that fight.
So they've
done because Katie Taylor, kind of a big star. Clarissa Shields, kind of a big star. I watch Clarissa Shields and I enjoy Clarissa Shields in MMA. I think she's really good in there. I like watching her. I like watching her develop. Katie Taylor, I love watching her fight. I love watching Katie Taylor fight. But a lot of them, I mean, again, they're few and far between in the sense that Michaela Mayer, what do I have? Why should I care about her? Why should I care? What has she done? So what? There's a lot of good fighters out there, period. I have to have a reason to watch these fights. Why are you watching the Terrence Crawford Sean Porter fight?
It's a good fight. So you're not against women's boxing. You just don't like the matchups that you get.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. All right, I really do. I think that's probably it.
All right.
And the other thing is too, the other thing I don't like about women's boxing is it's 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, I don't like the 2-minute rounds.
And I know Bob Arum is pushing for 3-minute rounds now, which he should, in which they should. It shouldn't be Bob Arum pushing it. It should be them pushing it.
And to your
instead of saying, well, I'm going to get paid the same amount, so if I do 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and listen, you push for it because you want to be an equal.
And not to put words in your mouth, but maybe you feel as though at least the female MMA is the same as the male MMA in terms of the rules and the rounds and the time limits and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that. So that's another turn off.
Exact rules.
I got you. All right.
Same exact rules.
Making some headway here. I just don't want. I just hate when that misogynistic tendencies that you have rear their ugly head.
Misogynistic.
I just don't like that. I don't like that.
That's terrible.
Guys, hit the like button, please. We have 67 people watching, 29 likes. You know the drill.
I knew I forgot to do something.
We have 70 people watching. We have 70 people watching now. Hit 71. Hit the like button.
Yeah, guys, hit that like button. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to cut that piece out of the last show with Robert.
Oh, hit
that like button. But he's on. Yeah, but he's on the line now, so he'll tell you guys. Who's to say there aren't female fighters pushing for a change? Listen, I haven't heard them. Have you? I haven't heard them. I haven't heard.
Unfortunately, we've emailed.
3 minutes. I want 3 minutes. Go ahead, Beeb. What were you saying?
We've interviewed several female fighters on this show.
They all
And
get
we
the
asked
same
them the
rap.
question about 2-minute rounds. And they don't seem very enthusiastic of fighting 3-minute rounds. Their response is, if we have to fight 3-minute rounds, we want to get paid more.
Right.
So we're just being honest. And this is coming out of their mouths, not ours.
Right. I would love to see him fight 3-minute rounds. And like I said, it's a turnoff to me that they don't have the same rules. You guys want to be treated as equals. You guys want to be treated as, stuff like, why would you not want the same rules then? How can we treat you like equals if you're not willing to play by the same rules?
That's right.
Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I being misogynistic now?
Get Robbie on the line. He'll tell you how good that fight was.
Probably didn't watch that fight. Come on.
You want to make a bet?
All right, let's talk about this, and then we'll get Robbie on the line.
All
here.
right. I don't mean to tell you what to do. I don't mean to tell you what to do. This is you. You're the producer.
I'm just saying.
You're the producer.
I thought I was a producer. I thought I
You're
was
the
a producer,
producer.
but apparently I'm not. Apparently,
I
Beeb
apologize.
is trying to
How
take
dare I
over.
tell you to put Robbie on the line?
I guess Beeb is trying to micromanage now. How about that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
UFC Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman wins a unanimous decision over Colby Covington. It was a razor close fight, but I do think Usman edged it. If you guys didn't catch the Justin Gaethje Michael Chandler fight that opened that fight card up, you guys need to go see it. It was probably the fight of the year. It's a very good fight. Very good fight. All right, let's get Robert on here. Ringside Robert, you're live.
Hello, guys. And Eric, I'm very disappointed in you.
I don't care.
I'm extremely disappointed.
I care.
I don't care.
First
You
of
know
all,
how many people are
first of all,
disappointed in me
you-
on a daily basis, and I'm going to cry a river because you're disappointed in me.
First of all, the whole disability crap needs to stop. I could understand Freddie Roach just fine.
How?
So I don't know what's wrong with your TV set.
I'm telling you
Okay.
what, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Robert Beeb agreed with me. Beeb couldn't understand it either.
No.
Yes, you did.
No,
I
I
got the
did
text right here
not.
to prove it. Yes, you
No, I
did.
did
I got
not.
the text right here to prove it.
No,
I'm telling you right now, I could not understand
All
a
I
word that
said
guy
was
was
give
saying.
the guy
It
a
just sounded
break.
like
He's got a
mumble.
mask on. I have the text
No,
right here.
no. I got the transcript right here. You laugh. You were like,
Don't
yeah,
make
you
me
were
put
like,
it up on the camera.
I'll pull it up. Pull it up.
I wasn't
Okay.
laughing at Freddie
You
Roach. I was
understood him,
laughing
Robert?
I
You
was
were able to
laughing at
understand him
you.
just fine?
Yeah, I understood him just fine.
I did
and
not
So
understand.
did his fighter, by the way.
Well, as long as the
And
fighter understood
number
him, that's all that
two.
matters.
And number two, that fight was very good on Friday. I don't know how you could
Which one?
make it sound Michaela Mayer. It was very good on Friday.
I'm sure it was. I'm
Told
sure it
you
was a
he
fine
was.
fight. I'm sure it was a fine fight.
The only like I told Beeb in a text I sent him, the only criticism I have of female fighters is they don't fight 3-minute rounds, and all title fights should be 12 rounds. If you're going to be in the same sport as men are, you need to fight under the same rules. That means all title fights should be 12 rounds, and all fights should be 3 minutes each round. I mean,
Isn't that what I just said?
If you want to get,
That's what I just said.
but Eric, you put down this fight and I didn't watch it.
No, I'm not going to watch it because it's not the same. Why would I watch it?
Robbie, get him, Robbie.
Why would I watch it?
How in the world can you host a podcast and talk
Why
about
don't-
a fight that you
Why don't I just
haven't
go watch a bar fight too? Why don't I just go watch a bar fight while I'm at it? Because they don't fight by rules either.
Come on.
They don't fight by the same rules, but I should go and enjoy that too, huh?
Give me a break, Eric. We're supposed to talk about all the fights over the weekend,
So
especially if we have a chance to watch them, which I did. I watched the ESPN card. I paid $80 for Canelo, and that undercard sucked.
that undercard was terrible.
I'm glad Canelo won. Caleb Plant is a better fighter than I ever thought he was.
Tell him, Robbie.
And I think a Caleb Plant Anthony Durrell fight would be wonderful next. And I think Canelo should be fighting David Benavidez next. depending on what David Benavidez does in a couple of weeks when he has his fight against Kyron Davis.
All right, let me address this. Let me address this from the chat here. Troy Graham says, women didn't set the rules, men did. So why are we blaming the female fighters for the rules established by men? Because the female fighters can change the rules. That's why. And they choose not to change the rules. That's why.
All we're saying is when we've interviewed female fighters and
this is coming from their mouth, not mine.
They say to us, if we fight 3-minute rounds, they're going to have to pay us more. Then we ask them, well, what if we don't pay them more? Then they say, well, then we won't fight 3-minute rounds.
And you know what, Robert? You hated women's boxing. You hated women's boxing prior to this. So don't give me this little, get off your throne here. You hated women's boxing.
We interviewed Christina Hammer.
Hang on, Robert. Go ahead.
We interviewed Christina Hammer, Sulam Urbina, the girl from Everett. Who's the girl from Everett? Shayna Fapiano. We interviewed all the girls. Who else did we have on here? We had the girl Hopewell on here. Me and D-Style interviewed her. We also Hannah Gabriels. We interviewed her, and they all said the same thing.
And Dalen Chi-Town said they should get paid more. Listen, I'm with you. They should. If they up it to 3 minutes and they do 12-round fight, just do the same rules. Why is it so difficult to do the same rules?
There'd be more knockouts if it was 3 minutes.
Sense. It makes zero sense because ultimately what you're saying is that the women are less talented than the men. And while that may have been true when this whole thing started years ago, when like the Christy Martin generation, Christy Martin was definitely not as talented as the girls we have out now today. I think everybody would agree to that, correct? Would you agree with that?
I think Katie Taylor is a better fighter than
better fighter technically.
Clarissa Shields, Clarissa Shields, yeah,
better
absolutely.
Technical fighters.
Savannah Marshall, yes.
I don't think we can disagree with that. They're all better technical fighters than when Christy Martin kind of paved that road. Right.
Serrano.
We have better technical fighters now as far as women go. All right. They're every bit as technical as the men. Why don't they want to play by the same rules? Doesn't make any sense. That's where I'm coming from at it. You want to get paid more? You want to play by the same rules.
It's a good argument.
That's it. Of course it's a good argument. It's coming from me, Beeb. Kidding me? Kid salami.
No,
all right, Robert, go ahead.
I will never be. I will never be a complete fan of female fighters as long as they choose to fight under special rules.
How?
I don't like that.
You were just on me about this, and now you just said the same thing.
Hey, look, we all agree they're fighting under special rules. But Eric, what I'm criticizing you for is there was a unification fight on Friday night, and you just sat there and told everybody I didn't watch it
because it sucked. I didn't want to watch it. I had no reason to watch it. I had zero interest in this fight.
But you host a podcast.
Okay. Let's get into this. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, because you were hosting a podcast right along with us when fights all around you were going on that you refused to watch.
That's because I didn't have access to them.
Really?
I've got access to them all now.
Robert, you didn't have access? We didn't offer you access to it?
No.
Beeb, didn't you offer to send him a Fire Stick and we offered to pay for the zone?
Yep. He got you there, Robert. He got you there, Robert. You refused.
I
offered to buy you the zone. I offered to buy you the zone. I offered to let you use my DAZN to watch fights. You said no.
I didn't say you didn't, guys. I didn't say you didn't. Okay.
Duncan McLeod says Eric likes to watch Brokeback Mountain, the movie, rather than female boxing. It's a very underrated movie, by the way. There you go. Go ahead, Robert.
That was a good comeback, Eric.
I never said you guys didn't offer things, okay? All right?
All right.
But no.
All right, move along, Robert. Now,
all right, let's move on.
Move along.
All right, let's move along here. But seriously, if David Benavidez looks good on November 27th when he fights Kyron Davis, I think he should be the next one in line for Canelo. And I think Anthony Durrell and Caleb Plant would be a wonderful fight on that undercard.
I don't disagree with you on that one.
Caleb Plant and who? Darrell?
Darrell.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so too.
That would be a wonderful co-main, and then I don't know what you do with the first two fights of that, but those two at the top of the pay-per-view, because Canelo he came out in one of the articles I read today and said he's going to take off a while, but he wants to get back in the ring in May. And I read that Coppinger article where he talked about Triple G. God, what planet is he on? They've had 2 fights. They don't need a third.
I would agree. I mean, do you want to see that third fight, Robert?
No, I don't, because frankly, Triple G has been out of the ring the entire year this year. He's going to be going to Japan and going to be fighting on December 29th against Murata. Chances are, if he doesn't knock Murata out, he's going to lose a decision in Japan because, let's face it, Murata is from Japan. The judges are not going to give it to a fighter that doesn't deserve to win in a case like that. He either has, if Triple G wants to win that fight, he's going to have to knock him out. And chances are, since you've been out of the ring almost the entire year, are you going to be able to do it at 39 years old?
I think that's the other thing. How old is Triple? You said 39. He's 39 now.
Yeah, he's 39 years old.
He's 39. He'll be 40. He'll be 40 in April.
He'll be 40 by the time that third fight rolls around. If they fight, okay, he'll be 40
right
as it rolls on. He didn't look good in his last couple of fights. I don't even know when was the last time he fought.
That Sarameta fight.
But,
yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was sometime last year.
So it was last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's fought since December. Last year, December of last year was his last fight.
Right.
He hasn't fought. He hasn't fought the entire 2021 year.
Yeah.
So
it's been a while.
I really don't think, and besides, how in the hell would you market a fight like that? What it would be Canelo basically taking advantage of somebody that probably shouldn't be in the ring, and who knows what he's going to look like in December when he fights Murata, because I'm assuming that fight's going to be on DAZN, and I know DAZN is pissed off at him because they signed him to this big fight deal.
10 fights,
and they haven't gotten their money's worth out of him.
Supposedly they restructured that deal too.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
You don't sign a guy who's like 35.
I said it.
Fight deal.
I said it right when they did it. I was questioning all these moves DAZN made way back when. That they ended up
terrible, man.
Yeah.
Now they don't have the Canelo deal no more, and they ended up restructuring this Golovkin deal.
Right.
So what did they end up doing? And now they're focusing on Europe instead of the United States anymore. So everything they set out to do, they kind of went back on. It's crazy.
But apparently that's a huge company, though.
It's a big company.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently they got tons of, they're doing pretty well. It's not like they're losing.
No, they're never gonna, be in danger of going bankrupt or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but they didn't do what they said they were going to do in regards to, the U.S. boxing market. So
of course, we have no way to figure this out, guys. But we don't know how many people here in the United States actually are subscribing to DAZN. Maybe they have more subscribers over in Europe, and maybe that's why they want.
I would assume they do.
I would assume they have
a
lot more subscribers in Europe. Yeah, I would definitely think so. They have more, I think, sports over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no idea what their U.S. market is.
No.
And let's face it, they have to depend on Matchroom for all their boxing content because Oscar De La Hoya only puts out a card when he feels like it. It seems like.
No, I was going to say, when was the last time he put out a card?
I believe it was in September, but I could be wrong about that. Now, I know this weekend, November 13th, Matchroom has a card from London, and then later on that night, Golden Boy has a card. So you're going to have 2 cards on the same night. And then on the 19th, the day before Crawford and Porter. I don't know if that's a Matchroom card or a Golden Boy card with Andre. So
I don't know. Yeah, not good, man.
So,
not good either way. Tell you that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Robert, we're going to put you on hold here.
So,
stay on the phone, all right? Just stay on.
Oh, okay.
Right.
See ya.
All right. Let's talk about Manscaped here real quick. Exciting news from our friends at Manscaped. We just launched the 4th generation performance package, Beeb. It's the 4th generation performance package. It includes the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right. You heard that right. 4.0. Manscaped, the leaders in male grooming, have done it again to make your grooming game the next level. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the new Performance Package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ringside Reporter. All right, the Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped has arrived, and it was worth the wait. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver deodorant, and Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. Beeb, you have the Weed Whacker, correct?
I do. It's beautiful.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Awesome. The performance package includes the Lawnmower 4.0. This is a trimmer is insane, and I dare say the greatest trimmer ever. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch that can engage in a new travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on when needed for a more precise shave. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof as well? You thought that was good, but we want to take your grooming game even further. The Performance Package 4.0 includes the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds in your nose and ear. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof, 9,000 RPM motor powered by 360-degree rotary dual blade system. The nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology which helps prevent nicks and snags. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations, their Crop Preserver deodorant for before leaving the house, and the Crop Reviver toner for the mid-game check. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. Get 20% off free shipping with the code Ringside Reporter at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ringside Reporter at manscaped.com. You've been enough through the past year. There you go. All right, guys. Let's see here. Let's see the upcoming fights here. What we got coming up next week. And I had that open. I just don't have it open now. All right, give me 1 second. Not much this week, but in 2 weeks, of course, we got the Crawford and Porter fight. So next week, we got our Crawford Porter pay-per-view, or the Crawford Porter preview show, excuse me. All right, so let's go to the schedule here. All right, next week on the 13th, I believe, what is that, Friday, Beeb?
I believe so. That's correct.
All right. Kid Galahad versus Kiko Martinez, 12 rounds for Galahad's IBF featherweight title. Chris Billam-Smith versus the dreaded TBA, 12 rounds cruiserweights. This is going to be on DAZN. Listen, I always like watching Kid Galahad fight. He's going to defend his title versus Kiko Martinez. I think Galahad wins this. I think he wins it pretty easy, but anytime Kid Galahad fights, it's always must-watch TV for me anyway.
I like Kid Galahad.
Yeah. Also, November 13th on Showtime, David Benavidez versus Kyrone Davis, 12 rounds, super middleweights. Jose Benavidez Jr. versus Francisco Emmanuel Torres, 10 rounds, junior middleweights. And Rancis Bartolome versus Gustavo David Vittori, 10 rounds, junior welterweights. So that ought to be good. Now, November 13th, it's just packed. They also have, this is to me, the fight of the weekend right here. On DAZN, Jaime Munguia versus Gabriel Rosado, 12 rounds, middleweights, and Alexis Roca versus Giovannis Barraza, 10 rounds, welterweights. Jaime Munguia, Gabriel Rosado, I tell you what, we kind of wrote off, at least I kind of wrote off Gabriel Rosado a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we all thought he was going to get hurt against Daniel Jacobs. I mean, listen, man, this guy.
I thought he won the fight.
This guy is a fighter. I mean, this guy is a fighter.
Most certainly is.
Him and Jaime Munguia. I don't know which way to go with this. I'll be honest, man.
I would edge Munguia on this one, but Gabe Rosado is going to be a huge underdog. He's definitely live. It's not a bad thing to drop a little something on Gabe Rosado, a little tickle on Gabe Rosado.
No, I don't think so either. I think that, it's funny. I think Gabe Rosado, or I can see him like Munguia outboxing him, but I don't know. I'm not 100%
not
sure
necessarily
that happens,
outboxing him, but outfighting him.
Maybe, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
maybe that's it. Rody Pete says that Munguia beats Gabe. Hey, maybe. Gabe Rosado still looking for the Triple G rematch. There you go. Marion Brown says Munguia is younger, stronger. He is. But there's something there. And you don't want to see, I always go into the Rosado fights saying, like, I don't want to see Rosado get hurt because he's been in a lot of wars.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him get hurt. At the same time, he goes in there and just makes a complete liar out of you.
Proves you wrong.
Proves you completely wrong. Because you're thinking, hey, man, he didn't belong in here at all, but he does. He absolutely does.
Yeah.
Robert says that is Saturday, not Friday.
Yeah, Saturday.
So there you go.
Sorry
13th.
about that.
So the 13th is a Saturday. So there you go. Now on the 17th, okay, which is the following, I believe it's Tuesday or Wednesday, Tim Tszyu fights in Australia against Takashi Inoue. But they're junior middleweights, 10 rounds, but there's no TV on this. You think ESPN, this is one ESPN should pick up, no? ESPN
Plus, I would think, would have picked this up, yeah. 100%.
I would think so too. Now, I didn't see anything like they were going to pick it up or anything like that, but yeah, who knows? And then, of course, a week later, you have Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. And again, next week, we'll do that whole review show and everything like that and tell you how to bet and all that other good stuff. That's a good fight, man. I cannot wait for that. I almost want to talk about it now. I'm so excited about it.
Very intriguing fight.
That could be we could be looking at a fight of the year right there too. This past from June till now has really picked up.
Yeah.
The end of the year has really picked up. This is one of the best really one of the best years for boxing in a long time. It really
How many unification fights have we had this year? We had this 168-pound. We had the Josh Taylor one.
Yeah.
And what else was there? I'm trying to think. Was there
Teofimo
was a unification? Yeah, it was Undisputed. If you want to really look at it that way. So yeah, you had like three Undisputeds here, right?
Yeah,
that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's been great. It really has been.
Shout out to boxing.
That's right. Shout out to boxing. All the promoters, been doing better. They've been doing better. We still don't get like the kinds, I guess the fights that we want, but we're getting good fights. That Terrence Crawford fight is a monster fight.
We're not going to ever get everything we want, but we're getting at least some of what we want, more so than we were before. And now we're starting to come off this pandemic now, so things are starting to turn around.
Yeah.
Right.
Marco Hernandez says, wasn't the Usyk fight undisputed? It was, but we still have the WBC belt out there. So, no, it was unification. It was not undisputed.
No, it wasn't undisputed.
Marion Brown says Spence Pack was a huge loss. It really wasn't. I don't think it was anyway. I thought Ugas, listen, if Ugas handled him like that, what do you think Spence would have done to him? Honestly, what do you think Spence would have crushed that guy?
Yeah.
That would not have been fun to watch. Call in, guys. Okay, so 323-870-3857. If you guys want to play this game, we're playing for Manscaped. All right, we're playing for Body Wash. All right, they sent us a bunch of stuff. We got the Weed Whacker in here. We got the what is that called? The 4.0, the Lawnmower 4.0. We got some cologne. We're going to play for at least one every week. So if you guys want to call in and you want to play a game, we're going to call the game called Fact or Fiction. You guys can play for some body wash. We'll send that to you. And there you go. We're going to go over the news and we'll give you a chance to call in if you want to. If not, that's okay too. All right. News and rumors here. Lomachenko versus Richard Commey is set. Beeb, when I heard about this fight, I wasn't real excited about it. I know Richard Commey is a good fighter, but he was iced in 2 rounds by Teofimo, and then Teofimo beat Lomachenko. I know combat math doesn't work, but Commey's definitely on the downslide, no?
He's coming off a nice knockout. I would say he's not on the downside. I think on any given night he can give anyone a good fight, but it's hard to see him beating Lomachenko in this fight. But it's a decent fight for Lomachenko. It's a good stay busy fight. It's not it's not a horrible fight. I think Commey can give him a test. I think this fight may go the difference. I think this fight might go the distance, and I
don't think so. I think Lomachenko gets him out of there in 6 rounds.
Because Comey's usually a durable guy, but he just got caught by Teofimo Lopez. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it can go. I think it could go the distance.
I think Lomachenko ices him. Do you think Lomachenko and Teofimo fight again, or no? That fight's off the table.
I don't want to say they won't fight again, but I'm not 100% certain that they will. But I think it's still a possibility. I think it's a possibility that they fight again. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean,
it's an easy fight to make. I mean, they're both under the same banner.
The only problem is how long can Teofimo still make this 135-pound weight class?
He's a big guy for 135.
Yeah,
he's a big guy for 135.
I'd like to see him fight Devin Haney, to be honest with you.
I would too. That's another fight I don't think will happen. But they want that fight. They want that fight. I saw them talking to Eddie Hearn and everything like that. They want that fight. So
I like the Devin Haney Jojo Diaz fight. I think it's a good fight.
Let's talk about that. That one's set for December 4th. Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. And Ryan Garcia, listen, man, you got to be kicking yourself because that fight could have been made pretty easy because if they put that Jojo fight together that easy, I mean, really within a matter of days, they put that fight together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so there you go. They put that fight together in a matter of days. Ryan Garcia, he claims he wants all these guys. Where does Ryan Garcia go from here, man? I mean, look, he broke his. I understand he's showing his hand on Instagram and everywhere else that they'll listen to him, but realistically, I mean, they try to group him in with the 4 people: Teofimo, Devin Haney, and Tank Davis. Is he like that? I mean, does he deserve to be in that group, or is he still kind of a work in progress?
Well, he's got that knockout power, particularly with that left hand. He's young. He's very explosive, very athletic. In my opinion, I don't think he beats those guys, to be honest with you. I think the Tank fight would be very intriguing because he'd have a big size advantage over Tank, but Tank just hit so hard. He hit so hard. And I think Tank would land one of them vicious uppercuts on the inside against him and probably get him out of there.
Right. Lennox Was Best says Haney is chinny. I don't know. I don't know if he's
I don't know. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure of that either. All right. So Logic said, who has a tougher opponent, Lomachenko versus Commey or Haney versus Jojo? I'm going with Haney versus Jojo. I would
say Haney versus Jojo. Yeah.
Yeah. Lomachenko, like I said, Lomachenko is going to ice this guy within 6 rounds. I really believe that. So,
do you think Jojo has a shot here against Devin Haney, or you think Devin Haney should outbox him easily?
No, he's not going to beat Devin Haney. There's no way. I don't think Haney knocks him out, but I think he outboxes him.
It could be a tough fight. Could be a wide scorecard fight, but harder in rounds, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think that
to grind it out.
I think it could. I think that Haney is real conscious now of what's being said about him.
Yeah.
And I think he'll end up making it a tougher fight than it actually is. Than it actually should be. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Because he can really just stay on the outside and just jab him all day and then just win the decision. I don't know that Haney's going to do that. I think you're going to watch Haney take a few risks in this fight. And I think he's going to try to get Jojo out of there, whether he does or not. I think if he can, that's great. But if he can't, I think he makes it a rougher fight than it should. Because I think, like I said, man, he's conscious of what's being said and everything like that. Rody Pete says, I'm not sold on Haney. I've said it for a long time. I said, aside from Teofimo Lopez, which you have to consider the best because he beat Lomachenko, Haney's number 2. I've always said that. And I always said that Haney's like almost like the next Mayweather coming up. I mean,
you've always liked
those same
yeah,
qualities.
you've always liked him.
He's always got those same qualities. So yeah. Chandler M said we should be talking about Boots Ennis. Listen, I love Boots Ennis, but he's not fighting anybody. He just fought. He's not fighting anybody right now, so we can't really talk about him. But I love Boots Ennis. I think he's the next guy. I really do. In the welterweight division, who beats that guy?
Yeah, it's tough.
he's got guys there to fight. So, and I think he's ready. I think he's ready. The fight I like for Boots Ennis is him and Danny Garcia in Philly. I think that's a perfect fight.
Good fight, huh?
Promoter's dream, right?
Sure.
How can you not promote that fight?
Yep.
It's beautiful.
On Showtime.
Yeah. All right. So Isaac Cruz will now face Tank Davis in December. Okay. He was replaced by Raleigh Romero, was replaced with Isaac Cruz. How about this fight is still on pay-per-view? They didn't even make an effort to transfer it to Showtime or anything else. They said, no, we're going to leave this on pay-per-view. Are you for real? You're leaving this on pay-per-view?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Son, I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't no way I'm watching this fight.
No, I'm not buying this. I'm not.
No way, son. Absolutely not. I would love to see how many people are going to watch this fight or buy this fight. There is 100% zero chance I'm buying that fight. Isaac Cruz? That's a pay-per-view worthy opponent? Come on, guys. I mean, give me a break, man. That's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So there you go. All right, let's go to the phones here. Give me 1 second. All right, I think this is Philadelphia. 267, you're live.
Philly Drew.
Yo, yeah, but it's me.
Philly Drew, what's happening?
What's up, Drew?
Nothing much. Nothing much, Joe. I'm just got done watching the Eagles lose the game. So like, I'll be honest with you. I want to watch this fight either on pay-per-view. I don't know how this fight is still a pay-per-view fight. Like, basically, they're just trying to put nobody's or Tank, and Tank's going to sell out. Is going to make numbers on pay-per-view because they always think of him as the face of boxing, which is clearly not. And like I said the other night, the most protected guy in boxing is Tank Davis. When I went on Maestro's channel and debated with this one guy because he said Canelo was the most protected guy in boxing. But I really expect Tank to get the dude out in like maybe 5 rounds, maybe less. But he really has to start like fighting these top guys in the division, even if it's like 140, 135. They really gotta start cashing out on Tank because putting him against nobody's in-house fights on Showtime pay-per-view, it's really gonna get you so far. But we're likely not going to see him fighting on the 135-pounders. So the most likely case is Regis Prograis, maybe Josh Taylor.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, like I said, man, I don't think, I think that's a terrible, I don't understand what they're going to do with this. You know, I don't, and it's on Sunday night. That's the other thing. It's on a Sunday. They're putting this fight on a Sunday. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't understand the thought process behind all this.
No. It's like putting boxing against the UFC on the pay-per-view. It doesn't make sense.
I really think they jumped the gun in removing Wally from the fight because, tell you the truth, there's no proof that he actually did it. It's just hearsay.
Doesn't matter.
Like, they had proof, like video proof.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a question. Philly Drew, let me ask you a question real quick. If I'm a school teacher and I've been accused of child abuse, okay, against one of the students there, there's no proof, but there's an accusation. Do you think I should still stay on and teach until I'm proven to be wrong? Would you feel comfortable if one of your kids were
Well,
in
I'm
school?
going to be honest with you. You said child abuse, right?
Yep.
Now, there was proof of abuse with Tank on video with him choking a female, and they still let him fight.
I agree. I think it was wrong.
So I'll tell you the truth right now. When you ask me that question, you gotta look at the Tank situation. There's actually proof right there, video proof, and he has a hit and run case on him still.
Right.
At that time.
But the thing is, you could
Like
you have to prove it in a court of law. Private industry doesn't have to operate by those same standards. You know what I mean? Everybody always says this, what's innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, in a court of law. But again, private industry doesn't have to rely on those same standards. And so if they don't want a guy being accused of rape or whatever, or sexual assault or whatever he's being accused of to represent them, that's entirely their decision.
Like here's the issue with this. When they talked to Wally, when he finally broke his silence about him getting removed from the fight, he said Isaac Cruz was the original opponent for Tank until Wally activated his mandatory because he claimed to be Tank's mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
So he claimed to be activating his mandatory. So now he said after this fight, he plans to reactivate the mandatory again. So you're going to go through the same issue?
Well, if it hasn't been solved, yeah. Yeah, it's got to get solved.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you do something like this on your job and they have an accusation or anything like that, my point is, like, if you have an accusation on your job, you're probably going to get suspended. Cops get suspended all the time over accusations. And then once it runs its course, and if they're proven innocent, then they come back. But this happens all the time.
Well, here's another question.
Yeah.
Well, here's another question for you. And this is off actually the allegation subject, but didn't the WBA get rid of secondary titles? How the hell is Tank still have his secondary belt then? Unless Showtime's just keeping it and trying to build him as a champion still.
Your guess is as good as mine. And you know what? Everybody when we talk about Rolly Romero and we were like, everybody automatically goes to, well, Tank was on video hitting this girl. You're 100% right. Is there a double standard? 100%. Should there be 100%? Or should there be a double standard? No. 100% no. But who are they going to make more money with? It's a money game. It always has been, Who are they going to make more money with? Rolly Romero or Tank? You know what I mean? That's it. They can make more money with Tank without Rolly. And it sucks. It shouldn't be. And I agree with you guys.
Yeah, I guess when it all boils down to is Steven Espinoza doesn't want to deal with this hanging over his head, like the negativity of all this, right? And he wants to be 100% sure that Rolly is innocent of these accusations. Because if it comes out that he was guilty of all this and he allows him to fight, then they're going to go back and start criticizing Steven Espinoza. So he's concerned about, the reputation of the network, basically. So he's trying to protect his company, his company's reputation, I should say.
I'll be honest. I think the reputation is already done, because even if it's proven that he didn't do it, it makes it really look bad on Showtime, because Tank there's proof right there that Tank did what he did and everything, and they just let it go, like under the bridge.
Floyd Mayweather went to jail. He was convicted, and they let him fight before he went to jail. Wasn't it before he went to jail?
Correct.
And he was convicted. So after the fight, he was going to go serve his time.
Yeah, that was HBO
makes
though too.
No sense to me. I mean, makes zero sense to me.
I understand.
It's unreal. It makes no sense. It's a money thing.
But here's the thing: what network was Floyd fighting for? Showtime. At that time.
No, he was fighting for
So
HBO. He was fighting for HBO at that time. He was fighting for HBO at that time. That was when he fought Cotto.
I thought it was Showtime too, but I don't know.
That was his last. That was his last fight on HBO. Actually, that was in 2012. Yeah. That was his last fight on Showtime. It was in December of 2012.
Wow.
His very next fight was on Showtime.
It's insane. Insane. All right, Philly, do me a favor. Hold the phone, will you? Hold on, and we're gonna roll with some other callers, but hang on the line here. All right, 602, you're live.
All right, come on. Yo, Eric B, what's going on, man? It's Brandon from Phoenix. How you guys doing?
Brandon from Phoenix, how are you?
What's up, Brandon?
I'm good, man. Chilling. Hey, not much for you. Chilling, man. Hey, man, it was a good fight last night, man. Plant was competitive. I thought that's what was going to happen through the first couple rounds. But he was never able to really put any real sting on his punches to kind of hold Canelo off, man. So I give Canelo props for making the adjustment, going to the body, and kind of making this a deja vu to like the Kovalev fight and the Khan fight. So I'm impressed. The question I got for you guys is, what does Canelo have to do from here on out to solidify his spot on the Mexican Mount Rushmore of boxing?
Nothing.
I already got him on it.
Nothing. I mean, nothing.
He's already on it.
I mean, if he's not on the Mount Rushmore for Mexican boxers, I don't know who is. He's
already on mine.
Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, Ricardo Lopez. Those are my four. I mean, who else is there? I mean, there's a lot of great fighters, but those are kind of the cream of the crop,
So hold on, run that back real quick, Eric. Who did you say?
The four fighters that I would have on my Mount Rushmore, if there was such a thing for Mexican fighters, Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez, Ricardo Lopez, and Canelo Alvarez.
Okay. I'm with that. I definitely think at this point we have to say he's had a better career than Juan Manuel Marquez at this point.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I think Marquez, Barrera, any of the other guys from the '90s who's really had a better career than you need somebody who was like real steep in like old school Mexican boxing, studying anything different. And then I guess nobody counts Oscar because Oscar's Mexican American, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All
That's
right.
correct.
And then the other thing I got, man, is with this Tank fight, man, Tank's career, I don't know, man. It's just a different era of boxing. I mean, Tank is almost like he's like a better Chris Eubank in just the way his career is going. Because like Chris Eubank, like the popularity of his career was never based off of how good he was or who he was fighting. You know what I mean? And I just think that's kind of the truth with Tank. Like, I don't think Tank's ever really going to have to fight a Josh Taylor or somebody like that, unless Josh Taylor literally goes to a press conference and calls him outside of his name. I think that's the only way we're going to see Tank in with any of these big names before these big names get on the other side of 34, 35. I mean, how old is Lomachenko? Lomachenko's got to be pushing 33, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
getting up there.
Yeah. So that's what I think, man. I mean, it's just, I haven't bought a Tank pay-per-view. I think the only one that was probably worth money was the one versus him and
Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, maybe?
Yeah, Santa Cruz. Yeah, Santa Cruz. That was the only decent one. I mean, the one with the other tall Mexican cat, who's pretty good. He was okay, but that's not a pay-per-view fight. You know what I mean? That's the HBO, Showtime, championship boxing type fight. That's not pay-per-view.
Correct.
But anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all stay up, bro.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Brandon from Phoenix. All right, now we're going to go to 773. This is Chicago. 773, you're live.
It's Kevin.
Can you believe that people are saying Billy Joe Saunders put up a better fight than Caleb Plant?
I told you. I told you.
We got stopped at 5, but this is what they're saying. They're saying, well, he got stopped in the 5th round real early, but the fight he was fighting, he did good. It's like, oh my gosh, this is where we're at. These people. He got dusted in 5 rounds and he retired on the stool. And they're saying Caleb Plant had to make it to the 11th round. Him making Canelo miss, swing wildly, sticking and moving, pop shot. They're saying that was a better performance or that was tougher. Just ridiculous. That people think some things people say. Caleb Plant, I think the inexperience showed. It's just the experience. If you got someone in there with 21 fights versus someone in there with 38 knockouts alone. The dude got nearly double the knockout as this dude has fights. So I think that's what showed it. Just in a championship round, that's what happens. You know how to close out a fight. You know how to close out the round, things like that. Canelo's been in there with Triple G. He's been in there with high, big profile fights. And that was the difference in that fight. I think if the other player had the experience of some bigger, high-level competition, I think he's a better fighter. I think he's a more skilled fighter. It's just the experience definitely played the biggest factor in the fight. I thought he was winning. I thought he outboxed him. I thought he was outboxing him. Canelo was swinging wildly, missing wildly. A lot of those punches were getting blocked. He was hitting all arms. He was hitting gloves most of the time. And that final sequence, you saw that it hit the glove. It grazed off the glove, and it connected up top. That's what hurt him.
And he had been hitting him with that shot all night,
wasn't.
though. He had been hitting him with that shot, in all fairness, all night. So, hey, Kevin.
Not clean, though. A lot of the shots weren't clean.
No, I agree. Hey, Kevin, let me ask you a question. Do you want to play for the Manscaped body wash? Nice bottle.
Sure.
Yes or no? I don't want to, sure. No. No. I want some excitement. Not a, sure.
It was the Manscaped. What? Absolutely.
You put it on your all right, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you enter code Ringside Reporter. Kevin, you're now part of the game. All right, here we go. The game is called Fact or Fiction. I'm going to give you 5 questions. You have to answer 3 correctly to win. All right? You're going to answer fact or fiction. All right? Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. Wilfred Benitez was the youngest world champion in boxing history when he won the WBA super lightweight title at the age of 19. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
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 Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Beeb, is he correct?
Yes.
It is fiction. Benitez was 17 years old when he won the title. There you go. Question number 2. So, Beeb, you're going to keep track of Kevin's answers. He's got 1 correct now, right?
Yes.
All right. Beeb, you sound excited.
I am.
Question number 2. Everyone knows that the WBC sanctions boxing. But did you also know they sanction Muay Thai bouts as well? Is that fact or is it fiction?
Factoid.
Are you sure?
Fact.
Beeb?
Final answer.
Is he correct?
He's correct.
He is correct. The WBC sanctions Muay Thai bouts and has belts and champions. Kevin, you are 1 question away, my man. 1 question away from the big one. The big prize. Question number 3. Former lead singer of Queen, Freddie Mercury, used to be an amateur boxer. Is that fact or is that fiction?
I got a 50-50 shot. He was definitely on the softer side. I'll say that. I'll say this. Fiction. Final answer.
Beeb, is he correct?
He is incorrect. He was on the amateur boxing team.
He was an amateur boxer growing up in India. That is fact. Kevin, you have 2 right. You have 1 wrong. You have 2 questions left. Question number 4. Mike Tyson said that the best overall fighter he ever faced was Tony Tucker. Is that fact or is it fiction?
Oh, man. I'll say fact.
Is that your final answer?
No. I'll say fiction. Final answer, fiction.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right. You say it is fiction. But you said before it was fact. Then you changed. Typically, your first answer, your gut feeling.
If your name is Beeb, your first answer always goes through. But if you're someone else, you can change it.
If you're Beeb, yeah, it always goes through. Typically, your first answer, that visceral reaction that you get to give your first answer is usually almost always correct, Kevin. But you chose to change it midstream.
Except this time.
And this time, you are absolutely 100% correct. That is fiction. Mike Tyson named Evander Holyfield the best overall fighter he has faced. There you go. Let's give you, okay, so you win some Manscaped body wash. All right, and we're going to send that to you. Let's give you the last question. See if you get that right. The first Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali fight took place in Las Vegas on March 8th, 1971.
Tyson versus Joe Frazier.
Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali.
Say that that's fiction.
That is indeed fiction. It took place in Madison Square Garden, NYC.
Good job, Kevin.
There you go. Okay, so now we got to get your address. So what you do, here's what you need to do. I need you to go to Twitter, go to @ringside73. I need you to follow me, and then I need you to DM me, say you're Kevin from Chicago. Give me your address, and we'll send this out to you, okay?
You got it.
All right. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for playing. All right. Good deal. Thank you, Kevin. There you go. All right. So next week, Beeb, we got a bunch of stuff here. We got the Lawnmower 4.0. We got the Weed Whacker. We got some cologne, and we got some shampoo, conditioner, just like this. What do we play for next week, Beeb?
Weed Whacker.
The Weed Whacker. Let's go for the Weed Whacker next week. So there you go. And it'll be a different game. It'll be similar to this, but it'll be different. A little bit
like
different.
That game. That's a good game.
It's a good game, right?
Yeah.
It's a good game. The Freddie Mercury question is for inclusiveness. How dare you, Duncan McLeod? How dare you? That's terrible. What's the matter with you?
I'm going to tell you something. You're going to laugh your ass off.
I will. Yes.
Did you ever see that movie? What was that Queen movie? What was that movie on HBO? The Queen movie. What was it called?
I think it was called Queen.
No, it was
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
You know the Indian guy that played him, Freddie Mercury?
Raleigh, was it something Ramek? Something.
Remy something.
Remy
right?
Ramek. Was it Remy Ramek or something like that? I don't know.
Remy Remick or something like that.
He's a good actor.
I had to do an inspection, right?
Uh-huh.
The other day. And this old lady was, I was talking to this old lady that I had to help out for doing the inspection. She was the one that requested me to come to her house. And she told me that I looked like that guy. The guy that played Freddie Mercury in Queen.
The one with that jacked up mouth?
He got his teeth fixed.
No, I don't think you look like him at all.
I don't think I look like him at all.
No. You know who you look like?
Who?
You look like that dude at the car wash, man. That's who you look like.
Fuck.
You look like the guy who wiped my windows down the other day. That's who you look like, son.
You know who else people tell me I look like?
Who?
Ben Stiller.
There's more. I'll tell you what. There's more of a resemblance to you and Ben Stiller. I always get George Lopez. Yeah,
George Lopez. Yeah.
Yeah. I can never get like Mario Lopez or Oscar De La Hoya or anybody. I got to get like George Lopez, Danny Trejo, stuff like that. I never get like the who knows.
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
That was a good movie, wasn't it?
That was a great movie.
That was a really good movie. Did you see he's in that movie too, The Little Things with Denzel Washington?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I see that.
He's good. Yeah. JC said I look like Carlos Mencia. Tone says I look like Danny DeVito. How dare you? That's so disrespectful.
Potsy Weber.
Who looks like Beeb looks like Potsy Weber?
Was that from Happy Days?
Happy Days. You remember Happy Days?
Yeah.
JC says people tell me I look like Vin Diesel. In the mirror, maybe that's it. You tell yourself you look like Vin Diesel.
Is that guy still alive? The guy that played Potsy?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't know.
Potsy Weber.
Centurion says, watch Mr. Robot. I want to check that out too. Yeah, I want to check out Ben. I want to check out Mr. Robot too. That looks pretty good. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I definitely want to see it. You know, Lisa took that quiz, that fact or fiction thing. I ran down all 5 for her. She was 4-1 in that thing. And she said she didn't know any of the answers. She just said, because she's such a good test taker, she's like got that science down to write test and take test and everything.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have to know the answers. She can just read it from the questions. She's insane, man. She's insane. Smart girl, man. Very
This guy
smart.
just said I look like Keanu Reeves.
Say what?
This guy just said I look like Keanu Reeves. Someone told me before I looked
After
like John.
a 2-week bender, you know.
Someone told me before I looked like John Travolta too.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
They gassing you up like no other. Anson Williams, that's the guy who played Potsy. Yeah, he's still
That's
alive.
right. He's alive. He's 72. He's 72.
Is he saying it's hard to imagine Potsy Weber at 72, isn't it?
Potsy.
Jesus.
I used to love that show.
Yeah, it was a good show, man. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can find me on Twitter at ringside73, and you can also go on to ringside73, DM me, just follow me. I can follow you back. We'll just DM me or whatever if you want to play for one of these prizes or whatever, and we'll set it up for next week. Otherwise, we'll just do it on the fly like that. That's fine too. Twitter at ringside73, and catch us this week. We usually do shows during the week, and we will see you guys when we see you, probably pretty soon. All right, guys.